We're gonna start off in a wide stance, hinging forward, chin to the chest. Deep breaths. Bringing that head back up. We're gonna twist and reach for one ankle. Chin back down to the chest. Coming around to the opposite side, reach for that ankle. And back to center, bend those knees, scooping up towards the ceiling, coming up tall, arms down to your sides. Scooping down, back up like you're scooping up that air, arms out in a T around, back down, scooping. Deep breaths. And scoop up that air, bring it up, push it down. Take one arm over to the side. Big stretch, opposite arm, holding that elbow as you reach out. And reaching up tall again. We're still in that wide stance. Nice, big circular motion. And opposite direction, we're gonna loosen up that lower back. Down in a squat stance, pushing up the sky. Down in a squat, pushing up the sky. And squat, pushing up, reach up nice and long, hinging forward, fingertips on the floor, tuck that chin into the chest again. We're still in that wide stance. Walk heel toes, heels toes, heels toes. Knees bent, coming up, hands in a prayer position. Standing up tall. Back down to that squat with legs tight together. We're gonna wrap arms around the back of the legs, tuck that chin into the chest, and hold. Fingertips to the mat. Pop those legs out straight, nice big stretch, slowly rolling up. Arms out and back behind, come forward. And back behind, really stretching out the chest, open up that heart. Step to the end of the mat. Deep breath. We're gonna walk it out to a down dog. Breathing deeply. Bringing one knee in, give it a little hold, and then come back way up with that leg, point the toe. Slowly take that leg down, switching legs, bring that knee in, give it a hold, take it back, point that toe up, slowly bringing it down. Wide stance for that down dog this time, pushing those heels down. Then we're gonna rock forward into a wide plank and push it back. Feet back together. We're kind of in a scooped plank, head comes back and then come down to down dog again, knees coming down to the mat. So we're on palms and knees. Going back into child's pose, breathing deeply. Slowly coming up, reach for that ceiling. Palms forward. We're gonna step forward with the right leg. Notice that my foot is way in front of the hands. Looking forward. That leg comes back. Opposite leg is gonna come forward. Foot planted in front of the hands. Now I'm gonna pop up. Bring that other arm around. Step forward. Coming up tall, reach for the ceiling. Arms coming down to your side. Step out wide. Arms up, knees bent, hands in that prayer position in front of the chest, hinging forward. And coming up, reach for that ceiling. Fingertips to the shoulders. We're just gonna hinge left to right, touching elbow to quad. Good posture, keep the tummy tight. Just tipping left to right. And arms come out in front. Slowly coming down, palms to the mat. We're still in that wide squat. Moving those hands back, coming up, framing the face, swooping out to a T. We're just gonna lean left to right, working that torso. Scooping down, hands around the ankles or shin area, tuck that chin into the chest. Breathing deeply, coming up slow. Roll those shoulders back. We're gonna push the arms back and then forward. So again, opening up that chest. And back to that wide stance, hinging forward with hands on the hips. Nice and slow. Coming up, stepping in. We're gonna take one leg over, hands in a prayer position and hold. Breathe through this. No lazy elbows. Coming up. And switching legs. Coming down in that prayer position, holding that one leg squat. And coming up. Wide stance again. Leaning forward so the hands are wrapped around the hamstrings. Tuck that chin in. We're gonna go side to side, come up and around. Notice I still have my hands wrapped around those hamstrings. Big circles in that super wide stance. Again, working the torso. Let's switch directions. Breathing through this. Bring those arms up nice and tall. Scoop, reaching back through. Deep breaths. Palms to the floor. We're gonna hop in, coming up tall. Stepping out into a warrior, looking down that arm towards the fingertips. Turn center and come up. Holding. Coming back down to warrior. Come center with your stance. We're gonna switch sides. Again, looking down that arm to the fingertips. Coming to a T and then up. Nice tight tummy. Arms coming down, out to a T. And we're gonna go into that bow and arrow type move. So you're gonna lean in, pull like you're shooting a bow and arrow. When you pull it back, release it. Leaning forward and pulling back. We're gonna turn and do that same movement. Opposite direction, lean in, pull, and release. Lean in, pull, release. Breathing through this movement. Coming center, hopping in, coming up tall, roll those shoulders back. We're gonna come down to the mat. Nice deep breath. We've got those knees bent. We're gonna slowly roll back one vertebrae at a time. Got those knees tucked in and bent. Palms to the mat. We're just gonna alternate legs with that foot flexed, bending those knees in and out. Breathing through it. Notice that I'm flexing my feet as I push them away. Chin to the chest. Take those legs apart and together. Toes are pointed, so you're working those inner thighs. Flex those feet, legs coming up nice and tall with feet flexed. And slowly bringing those legs down tight together. Chin is still to the chest. And arms coming back, release. Arms crisscrossing with fingers touching the floor on each side. Deep breaths. Arms coming up tall, out to a T. Scooping as we come up, reach for those toes, chin to the chest. Sitting up tall. We're gonna scoop that air, falling back one vertebrae at a time. Arms down and back. Coming around, scoop, coming forward, reach. Falling back again with open palm. Hands coming down to the floor, open palm to the ceiling, scoop it around again. Reach up tall, falling back one vertebrae at a time. Hands to the floor and around. Scoop it up, reach forward. Now we're going to be facing forward, legs apart, reach for one foot. Nice big stretch, flex that foot. And opposite foot, reach, nice big stretch, nice deep breath. Bringing one leg in and reaching again for opposite foot. Coming up tall, switching legs. Tuck that heel in and reach for opposite foot again. Remember to take deep breaths. And coming up. Legs are together. We're going to reach up tall. Push those arms down, wrap around, tuck everything in. Bring that forehead to the knees. Take a deep breath. From here, we're just going to push that booty up for 2, 3, 4, and we're going to transition onto our tummy, forehead on the arms or hands. We're going to kick, 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 kick. So just keep switching legs for 3 pulses. This is going to work those hamstrings. So you have 1, 2, 3, switch, 1, 2, 3, and switch. Breathe through this movement. Very simple movement, but very effective. Tucking those toes under. We're coming up into a high cobra, so the pelvis should be off the floor. Head neutral, so looking straight ahead, coming down slowly. Almost like doing a push-up. And coming back up. High cobra again, so that pelvis is off the floor. And slowly coming back down. From here, we're lifting head up and legs, tapping those heels together and release. Coming back up, tap those heels together and release. Coming up, tapping those heels together and pushing up, reaching up tall. Now we're on our knees, reaching tall. We're going to sit back, booty to heels, and coming up, booty to heels, coming up, again, booty to heels, arms coming down at your sides. From here, we're going to transition onto one knee, opposite leg is out. We're going to bend that knee, in and out, flex that foot, keep the tummy tight, breathing through this movement, bringing that knee in and out towards the body. Take it down. From here, we're going to take the leg forward and back. Notice the toe is pointed. Again, you want to keep that tummy nice and tight and breathe through this movement. Now we're just going to do the same sequence but opposite side of the body. So we'll start with taking that leg up, bending that knee in and out with foot flexed. Nice tight core. Breathing deeply. From here, we're going to take the foot forward with toe pointed and take it back. Forward and back. Forward in front of the body and back. Again, focusing on tummy tight. We're going to transition to palms and knees. Nice deep breaths. From here, we're going to go into fire hydrant. So you're just going to lift that leg and hip like a doggy on a fire hydrant. Working those hips, working those inner thighs, and then switch sides. Arching the back into angry cat, coming to toes in sort of a bear squat, and then we're going to jack it out. Bear squat, jack it out. Holding that bear squat, knees coming down, arching that back into angry cat again, coming back into child's pose. Walk those fingertips out. Deep breath. Slowly rolling up. Taking that head back, arms coming up for a big stretch. And scooping down into child's pose, but with arms back behind the body, palms to the ceiling. Nice deep breath. And transitioning, sitting up tall, we're going to pull one leg in, head is neutral, deep breath, slowly putting that leg down, other leg comes in, again sitting up tall on those sit bones, head is neutral, deep breath, and putting that leg down, reaching for those toes. Deep breaths, head comes up. Looking forward in this pose. Typically our chin is to the chest. And that head is slowly coming back down. We're going to take one arm back, opposite arm back. Stretching those shoulders. Again, reach forward for the toes. Chin to the chest. Again, coming back with one arm and then opposite arm. We're just going to lean back, take that head back like you're sitting on a beach in the sun. It's a nice stretch to open up the chest. Now we're going to pop up and hold. Nice deep breaths. Head is back, slowly coming down. From here, we're going to roll back one vertebrae at a time. Arms back behind the body. Taking one leg up, bending the knee, and letting it fall to the opposite side. Now we're going to slowly take that leg back over, stretched out long, opposite leg, bend the knee and let it fall over to the side. Really great spine stretch. Deep breaths, releasing that leg, stretching out long. Arms coming up and around to the side of the body. Coming up tall, scooping it around and coming back. Arms back behind. Bending those knees, opening up those legs in a froggy pose so the bottoms of the feet are together. We're going to take the hands and just push down on the legs to kind of give an extra stretch in those inner thighs. Deep breaths. And we're going to crisscross those legs. Grab that foot and just pull it in for a nice ankle stretch. It's also going to give a nice stretch in the shin area. And we're going to switch legs, so crisscross, grab that foot, pull it towards you. Kind of an area we don't often think to stretch. Now we're going to take one leg out, leave one knee bent. We're going to twist, hold that open palm. Really great spine twist with this pose. We're going to switch sides, so other leg comes up with bent knee. Twisting around, open palm, deep breaths, and releasing that move, facing forward. We're going to take the arms up, down, up, out, and around. Take them up, down, up, out, and around, up, down, up, out, and around, up, down, up, out. And here I'm just going to show you from a different view. We come up, down, up, out, and around, 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 leaning back one vertebrae at a time, arms coming back behind the body. Here we're going to transition again to our side, head in the hand. We're going to take one leg up and over, that bottom leg toe pointed, and we're just going to pulse to work that inner thigh. So breathing through it. Keep pulsing. And then we hold. Lower that leg. Top leg comes out, and we're just going to lift. Lift with toe pointed. Keep lifting, working those hips, working those inner thighs. Coming down slow. We're going to transition to the other side of the body and do the same thing. So head in the hand, top leg comes up and over, holding that ankle, and pulse with toe pointed. Keep that tummy tight. Hold. Slowly release, top leg comes back stacked on the other. We're going to lift with toe pointed. Lifting as high as you can. Again, working the thighs, hips, and the flexibility. And we're going to transition onto our back. We're going to roll back into happy baby. So we've got index finger hooked around those big toes. Letting one leg go, coming down slowly, back up, hooking that toe again, opposite leg, letting it go, point to the ceiling, coming down slow, coming back up, hook that toe, stretching out into happy baby again. Legs together. Chin to the chest. And releasing very slowly, legs tight together to the floor. Bringing one leg in as we raise and lower the opposite leg with a flexed foot. Both feet are flexed, coming up and down with one leg as the other leg has the knee bent in towards the body. Switching legs, so opposite leg, knee is bent in towards the body. The other leg is straight out with feet flexed, coming up and down. Taking deep breaths, focusing on the movement, hugging those knees in. Everything coming out at once. So legs are tight together, coming out as arms come back, and then we hug it in. Those legs are hovering above the floor. Double leg pull. Arms back and then wrapping around the shin area. Deep breath. We're grabbing those toes, hugging everything in nice and tight. So we've got fingers wrapped around all the toes. Coming up with those feet, keeping the fingers wrapped around the toes. Taking those legs apart, similar to Happy Baby. Deep breaths, legs back together. Knees bent. We're gonna roll up and hold. Bring those elbows out nice and stiff. Legs are tight together. Take the legs apart and together. Apart, together. Apart, together. Apart, together. Apart, together. Focusing on this movement, it's going to challenge your balance, challenge your core strength. Breathing through it. And rolling back, rolling up. Rolling back, rolling up. And we're going to sit back, reaching forward for those toes. Taking the head back and slowly taking it down. Slowly rolling back one vertebrae at a time. Arms back behind the body. We're gonna hug one knee in as we come into the single leg stretch. So chin is to the chest. Alternating legs, toes are pointed. Hug them into a double and a double. Back to the singles. Single, single, single. Keep it going. Chin is to the chest. Reaching for those knee pits. And back to the double. And double. Sitting up tall. Pulling those feet in so the bottoms of the feet are together. Head is neutral. And taking that chin down towards the chest. Transitioning to a wide stance, hinged forward, palms on the floor. Walking those hands back, reaching through. Bending those knees. Head comes up slowly as we walk the palms forward. Bending those knees, hop it in, hop it out. Coming down, hop it in. Hop it out, coming down. Hop it in, hop it out. Wide stance, coming down. Hop it in, hop it out. Coming down to forearms. Super wide stance, push it up. We're gonna walk it forward. Reach, walk it back, hop it in, coming up. End of the mat, coming down to downward dog. Push that booty up, heels to the floor. Walking it forward on tippy toes. Bend those knees. Pop it up. Take the toes back. We're in a long plank position, twisting up to the side with one arm. And opposite side. Really working that core. Hopping in, coming up tall, reach. Facing forward, arms coming down and around, into a prayer position, legs tight together in a squat, coming all the way down. And coming up, arms to your sides, hinge forward. Deep breath. Coming up slowly, hands back to that prayer position, take a bow. Arms up and around. Great job. Thanks for joining me today, girls.